To all my guys out there watching this, have y'all ever been chilling with y'all girl and y'all both laid up in the bed and then at one point y'all both decide to get it on, but you need a movie to play in the background to block out any noises? Kandahar is the perfect film for that scenario. A boring, generic, and predictable action thriller used to block out noises? Perfect. So when this movie does become available for streaming, which will be soon, you now have a new film to add to your catalog for background noise. So Kandahar is yet another basic generic action thriller that we've all seen 1,000 times. Like, this is nothing new. The film is directed by Rick Roman Waugh, and it stars Gerald Butler, Travis Fimmel, Ali Fazal, and Naveed Negahban. The film is about an undercover CIA operative who gets stuck in hostile territory in Afghanistan after his mission is exposed. Accompanied by his translator, he must fight enemy combatants as he tries to reach his extraction point in Kandahar. Now, when it comes to action thrillers that are pretty generic or at least reminiscent of 90s action flicks, I will admit, Gerald Butler is pretty entertaining when it comes to this type of genre. I don't know what it is, but Gerald Butler has been in quite a few action flicks, especially lately. I don't know what it is, but I'm not complaining. I enjoy it. However, despite how entertaining he may be, that still was not enough to save this movie. I know I just got done giving Gerald Butler his flowers when it comes to starring in action thrillers. Again, I do believe he is entertaining, but as far as Kandahar, he's cool, but he's kind of just there, you know? But if I could be honest, the real shining star in this forgettable movie was Naveed Negahban. I thought he was hands down the best character in this whole movie. He was the only character that had some sort of depth and some sort of layer to him. So with Naveed's character, he's on a mission to find his wife's missing sister. But I have to admit, throughout this journey, he had some exponential amount of growth to him. Like, he was the only character that had some sort of heart, some sort of soul, some sort of moral, if you will. Now, Naveed's character has a moment in this movie, and it's this scene right here. And I have to admit, it was the most intense and most memorable part of this whole forgettable movie. Now, with this being an action thriller, you know there's going to be action scenes. And I can't lie, most of them were just kind of like, but there were a couple scenes in particular near the very end where I thought, okay, that actually was kind of cool. But the fact that out of all the action sequences in this movie, only 2 were the most memorable in this 2-hour runtime of a movie, that's not good. That's not good at all. Take notes from John Wick. That is how you do an action movie. Now, like I stated in my intro, this movie is just flat out boring. Like, it's just boring. Whenever there is not action going on screen, but rather dialogue exchange between characters, it was just so dull and so forgettable. I just could not care less. Listen, I don't go into an action thriller expecting the dialogue to be top tier. I don't expect it to have any sort of Martin Scorsese level of writing. But at least make it somewhat entertaining. Give me a reason to be invested into what's going on. Because I didn't care. I just didn't. Also, this movie tried way too hard to be like The Covenant. The Covenant was a movie about brotherhood and loyalty. This movie, it tried to do that, but just did it flat out poorly. I feel that the studio took notes from The Covenant, and they thought, we can do that too. No, you can't. And you tried, and you just flat out failed. This movie also has a couple of predictable moments, but given everything bad I just said about this movie, that shouldn't come across as a surprise. And this movie also has unfinished plot lines. Like I said earlier, so Naveed's character, he was on a mission to retrieve his wife's missing sister. And they just never finished the plot line. They just never did. I felt that the writers didn't know what to do with that, so they just left it as to be determined. And it's kind of like his whole mission was to find his wife's missing sister, and now we're just never going to know. Like, did he go back? You know what I mean? Like, I would have liked if we had gotten some sort of closure with that, but I guess not. To be determined in a sequel that will never ever happen. In the end, Kandahar is a very boring, basic, and generic action thriller with a few redeeming qualities, but even then, those redeeming qualities were not sufficient enough to save this movie. So, plugging Kandahar into the rank system, I'm going to place this one into the negative zone. Funny enough, I went to an early access screening for this movie, and when I noticed that there was only me and 6 other people in this whole auditorium, an auditorium that can hold up to 60 people, I should have known. But yeah, that is pretty much my review for Kandahar. Let me know down in the comment section below what you guys thought of Kandahar. Did you love it? Did you hate it? What's your favorite Gerard Butler action movie? Let me know down in the comment section below, and I will see you all in the next one.
After working up the nerve almost equal in size, I walked around with the iron for any wrinkle in time. I paid a piece of my mind for every nickel and dime, but never less than a 5 and never slept on a job. A killer crept on your squad, yet never left the garage, where your God was close enough to see the flesh of his eyes. Get to the button and press, it's what the message advised. What's a threat behind the vest is where the testament lies.